Hello. So this is a demo of the TaskTrace desktop application. TaskTrace, it collects screenshots, it records keystrokes, it records your microphone, and it aggregates this data up in activities. So an activity is basically some kind of collection of these elements across some time interval. You can see here, it's currently recording my microphone. This is all configurable, so in the settings you can turn off the microphone recording. That's also optional. Okay, so activities are aggregated up into overviews. So an overview is a description of a kind of collection of different activities. So you can see the activities that these overviews are built out of. And activities are also reflected across time. So one thing you can do is you can skip backwards and forwards in time with this calendar, and you can see here in your sort of timeline view what it was that you were been working on over the course of the day as reflected from the overviews. So then we have the analytics section. So the analytics is closely related to the tags, and I'll get into that, but basically the application, you set up tags, it will tag your activities, tag your overviews, and it will aggregate these things across time so you can sort of see when were you wasting time, for how long, were there any failures in terms of tagging, how much were you working, and any number of other things. So at this point, it should be stated that all of the data here is local. So there's no third-party server, there's no database, there's no cloud. The data, all your data, including all of the AI, is run locally on your desktop, and it never leaves. So in terms of like a privacy concern, unless you're worried about your own laptop spying on you, which to be fair, maybe you should, your data is never actually leaving your laptop with TaskTrace. So this is a tool, it's for you. The only way that anybody else can see this data is if you send it to them. TaskTrace also, so I already mentioned tags here earlier. You set up your tags. It's going to be a feature in the future where tags will automatically create themselves, so you don't have to create tags. The system will create tags and suggest them to you. That's work in progress. Search. So you can search TaskTrace for all sorts of things. So for example, I recently did my taxes. So this will generate a kind of three-dimensional view here where you can see all the different overviews, activities, and screenshots that had something to do with your taxes, and they have these little auras that indicate how important they are. So we can zoom in and we can click on these, and it looks like I was doing something with iTerm 2 in here, and you can see the taxes come up down here at the bottom. And MCP. So TaskTrace runs a local MCP server, which you can configure to expose any number of various data resources and tools. It's not any number, it's the specific set of resources and tools to your locally running LLMs. So in particular, your LLMs will then have the ability to search through your TaskTrace recorded history. And they'll also be able to listen to or subscribe to these activity feeds. So your agents, your locally running Claude, Codex, what have you, should have, or will be able, if you turn them on, will be able to have access to all of this information about you. So just a kind of a quick demo there. We can see, what kind of cake did I make recently? And TaskTrace should be able to go through my history here and we'll be able to figure out what kind of cake I recently baked. And this is going to be because it's been looking at recipes about cake. And it looks like OpenAI is doing a lot of cake verification related calls here, which seems slightly excessive. But it turns out that I made an orange chocolate cake. And so at no point did I tell OpenAI this. You can see here that it's calling the TaskTrace search tool and it's looking for cake and it's finding cake. So in this case, there is cake for us, which is quite nice. And so, hit me up. This is my information. And if you're interested in this, you want to play around with it, there's all sorts of things you can do with this MCP server, right? It's complicated here, but like you can provide all of your activity information to your OpenClaw or to your agents, and there's any number of possible use cases here. I'm sure you can figure out things that are more interesting than what I figured out to do with it. And also there's all this stuff is configurable. So for example, if you want to turn off your microphone, you can. And this play stop button, so the play stop button is significant. If you stop it, it stops recording, which is pretty important. There's a little tray icon up here too. So if you're interested in this, it's free. Download it, and if you like it, hit me up. Tell me what features you want. Thank you very much.